You're listening to Radio Cosmos.
All night long.
Bravo! My couple was little lady.
Come on, John.
Break for 30 seconds. Into transmission.
You are now listening to BaaD Radio.
Hello and welcome to BaaD Radio. BaaD stands for Business at a Distance. This is a show about local businesses and business networking. We are here in the News Radio FLA studio from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'm your host, Angela Smarito, and in studio with me, we have our producer, Melissa Fox.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Pretty in purple. That's her
Yeah.
signature color is purple.
It really is.
I love it. And next up, we have Melissa Jacob with Striking Brand.
Hello.
And she's got the black on today, which
gonna
always
say,
looks good.
Always. I don't have a signature color.
Black is a good color,
We just stick
always.
with black.
So Melissa Jacob is our co-host as well as our videographer. And if you go to baadradio.com, you'll be able to see all the previous episodes of the show. She does a beautiful job. And if you go to strikingbrand.com, then you can see all of Melissa's other work because she does video work as well as photography.
Thank you.
And please join me in welcoming Dave Meyer with FAS Windows and Doors to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, very excited for you to be here today. So you did say that this was your first go at a radio
That's
interview,
correct.
right?
Yes.
So we're going to talk a little bit later about how he ended up with this seat.
Okay, nice.
But I'm really excited to have FAS Windows and Doors on today because we've got a lot to talk about
Yes.
with them. But first, we have the networking news, and it is brought to you by Symphonic CBD, which is a branch of Live Your Best Life, and they are both advocates for Green Compass Global. Green Compass products are USDA organic, lab-tested, non-GMO, made in the USA, and cruelty-free CBD products, and they are key to making calmness a habit. They also have CBD for our fur babies. To get more information on the benefits of CBD, visit symphonic-cbd.com. That's symphonic-cbd.com. And for the second hour of the show, we have the benefit of having Terri Mandigo with Live Your Best Life.
Nice.
Yes, so we'll be talking a lot about CBD products. Before the networking news today, I wanted to talk a little bit about best practices. And I want to talk about best practices with appointment setting.
Okay.
So the reason I wanted to bring this up is because a couple times over the past couple weeks, I have had appointments set up in my calendar, and I think a lot of it has to do with the business that I'm in. And then it's set up, it's good to go, but then within like 5-10 minutes of that appointment time, I get oh, sorry, we had a mix-up. This can't happen, or you know what I mean? And so that's when I started thinking about how important appointment setting is,
Right.
and the consideration and how it affects other people. So, I meant we are talking a little bit about your business, Dave, in regards to appointment setting. So you do nothing but set appointments all day, right?
Well, not me, but yes, all day long, FAS. We have people that call in, set appointments. It's really important. It was part of what Ernie did with FAS. Ernie is the father, and he's always been really good at setting up appointment centers and getting people to call in. Marketing was really his forte, and he just did a really good job setting up FAS. We have a lot of salespeople, and all the leads that we get, we don't go after them. They actually call in to us. They're seeking us out, and it's just worked out really well for FAS.
But in that sense, you have your day scheduled based off of those appointments, right?
Right. Sometimes it's scheduled a week out in advance.
Right.
And every night I get my text that says my leads for the next day, and then I'm off and running the next day.
So how much of a monkey wrench does it throw in your day if last minute somebody says, oh, sorry, made a mistake? I mean, does that, like, what do you do with that hour? Or, I mean,
Well, I think that a lot of that gets squashed. Not only does a customer call in to set an appointment, but the day before, if we can't confirm the day before, hey, are you still on with this? Then they won't run it.
Really?
So they have to have a way to get a hold of them. They have to email back. They have to do something to say, we confirm this appointment or we're not running it. So cancellations, almost nothing.
I kind of do something similar, not like a day before, but maybe the morning of. I'll usually send a text message saying like, hey, just confirming we're still on for such and such
Right.
date and time. And if I don't hear anything back, I'm like, I don't know if I'm actually doing this today.
Right. But what about if you have an appointment set and it's in your calendar and it's been confirmed? Did you follow up on that as well?
I would try to do it anyways, just the day before, just to make sure. It's just as much for them as it is for me, though, just to make sure.
Oh, yeah. I got you.
Right. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean there.
Yeah.
Because I'm just saying is like, sometimes I don't realize, or I think that businesses don't realize the importance of maintaining a good calendar and your appointments because of the effect that it has on that other party.
Right.
So in my business, I schedule appointments and then I schedule the rest of my day based off of those appointments. I am a commissioned salesperson with the media agency that I work for. And so when I've rearranged an entire day for an appointment, or if it's from this time to this time, then you know what I mean? If it's not followed through if it's just like kind of willy-nilly, oh, I'm sorry. I double booked myself. And to me, that's so frustrating. And I'm trying to figure out how to deal with it better so that I'm just like, you know what, forget it. If my time's not important, then I'm just, I'm moving on.
Right. I think that's what you have to do when you see people that aren't going to like have the same priority. Then it's like, all right, it might not be someone you want to work with in the first place. Yeah.
Is that just me being completely butthurt over stuff?
No, I mean, I think sometimes accidents come up, sometimes things that you can't help come up, but like you can tell when it's somebody who's like repeatedly, like especially when you're saying 5 minutes before, that's insane. That's crazy.
It's totally disrespectful, or am I just being crazy?
No, because you're probably already at the location by that time.
Oh yeah. I've already done all my things and I'm already ready to go.
Right.
I also don't want you to be under the impression that even if you confirmed the night before, there are still some people that when you get to their house, they're like, I had no idea you were coming.
Right.
Oh, God.
What?
Right.
I don't know. I think one of my biggest pet peeves in business and actually in personal life is that when people don't really get the importance of other people's times. And again, I think it might just be because I have like ego issues and I'm like, well, if my time's not worth it, then, this isn't going to happen. What I really do is just kind of need to get over it and be like, I need to have a plan B. That's my solution. What do you guys think? But I mean, you really don't have a plan B. If you show up, I mean, when somebody says that, I don't know, do they usually send you packing or do you get to like stay and actually perform the assessment?
Depends. Sometimes, I'll get there, or I'll call when I knock on the door and nobody's there, and I'll call and they'll be like, "I totally forgot. I'm at a baseball game right now," and then there's nothing you can do except for pack up and we'll reschedule.
Where's the baseball game? Give me the address.
I know.
Right.
Follows them to
I'll
the
come
baseball
bring
game.
my windows.
In the stands.
Well, I think also it might seriously be too because both of you guys work in an industry where people will call you because they want to buy your services. Where in mine, I'm in media. Lots of times, I'm the one that's seeking that appointment, and so that might be some of it too. They're like, oh, she works for a media agency. We can like kind of blow that one off a little bit. But again, then I'm like, but I'm also a business person and a person. And those appointments, my time is important just like anybody else.
Right.
So I think I gave myself my own solution. I need to have a plan B.
So what would your plan B be?
I don't know. Working on invoices.
Yeah.
Doing, you know what I mean?
That's what I was gonna say.
Something productive that I can put in that time slot.
Especially if the location is like at a coffee place or a kava place.
Well, a lot of stuff
Or your
now is via
computer.
Zoom, so
that's
I
true.
can actually do something else
Yeah.
in that space. But I think, you guys are gonna have to agree with me, whether you like it or not.
I agree.
He's married.
Having a good schedule and sticking to it is a respectable thing, right? And that's not just, that's not just for like, that's just a good way to deal with your friends and your family and in business altogether. So, like I said, you can try to disagree with me, but it's not going to work.
We agree.
All right.
ChatGPT.
Oh, is that music? Man,
It is music.
we went fast. So, all right. So that is music, which means we're going to go to break. And I appreciate everybody letting me vent a little bit because I feel a little bit better now and that I'm justified. So I'm going to come up with plan B. All right. Well, so when we get back, we're going to talk with FAS Windows and Doors. So stay tuned because I've been trying to get them on the show for a while now.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Welcome back, and this portion of BaaD Radio is brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore. Hey guys, it's time to head over to Premier Couple Superstore and surprise your sweetheart with that sexy bedroom outfit. Premier Couple Superstore has got a huge selection of lingerie, shoes, toys, games, love oils, and a ton of great gifts. With Premier Couple Superstore, you don't pay those high prices because you're going to go directly to the source. 5009 South OBT, or shop online at premiercouples.net, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. I love that. All right. So we are here with Dave Meyer with FAS Windows and Door. And again, welcome to the show. I told him that I had a friend named Dave Myers. And so I'm going to do my best not to get that mixed up.
It's a close one.
I'll forgive you if you do.
All right. Well,
Very
thank
kind.
you. So tell us, how long have you been with FAS Windows and Doors?
13 years. It's the longest job I've ever had, and it's been my favorite. It's a
Yeah.
great place to work.
Uh-huh.
They take great care of their employees there, great care of their customers. It's just a really good environment.
That makes such a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked for someone who I worked for the same company with two different owners. The first one, I would do anything for them. And then as soon as they changed management, this other owner, I was there for 3 years. And I was like, okay, I'm done.
Right. Well, when I was watching the video of John Kennedy and how he talked about how he had a business owner he worked for that was like, I would be so rich right now if I didn't have employees.
Oh, yeah.
So what were you in a sales position prior to FAS?
Yes.
Where did you work?
I worked at Sears.
Okay.
Yeah. I was a sales manager at Sears.
Very nice. So I want to talk about the history of FAS for a little bit. So I happen to know that FAS stands for father and son. So is
Right.
it actually a father and son business?
It is a father and son business.
I love
Yeah.
it.
So I was working for Sears out in California in 2002. And when I had my wife had graduated college and we wanted to have our own home in 2002, it kind of had just passed you by. You would look up 350,000 and down, and not even a bad house in a bad neighborhood. It was empty.
Wow.
So
When was that again? I'm sorry.
2002.
Okay.
So
I think 2004 was the house boom, though, right?
yeah, but it was
Okay.
just that's when I was working at Sears, and I decided to go to work in the office to hope to transfer into a part of the country where maybe we can afford to buy a house.
Right.
And the Sacramento office was amazing, and sure enough, the Orlando office had opened up, and Sears paid for me to move out and be their manager there. And during that time, it was a great place to work. And I also found out that was my boss's, the Ernie Wilding's old business. He sold that business to Sears, and it became Sears Home Improvement. It wasn't much longer that Sears and Kmart kind of had their merger. And
Oh, really?
It didn't really
I
go
didn't even know
as
the
well
Sears and
as
Kmart merged.
I was going to say that, but I was like, I'm about to look real dumb.
Oh, I can beat you to it.
Kmart was hoping that Sears would bring their name up, but unfortunately, I think the opposite happened. So at one point, Sears wasn't doing so good in the home improvement business, and that's when Ernie Wilding and his son opened up FAS. And all my friends, the people that I'd worked with for a long time, all started graduating over there. And I'm like, what is this FAS place that I've been hearing about? And finally, somebody just told me that's Ernie. He's the one who started, all this, and Sears had bought it from them, and it became Sears Home Improvement. So when I did finally end up over there, the whole HR department was there. Some of the greatest sales managers across the country.
So they
had
didn't even
all
have to
come
get to
there.
know you. They already knew you,
Oh,
right?
that's nice.
I know.
The contracts looked the same. I felt like I was literally in the same office. It's just moved from
Oh,
Sears
that's so
over
nice.
to FAS.
Nice warm welcome.
Yeah. But it's strange working there. We have a yearly meeting where everybody gets together and we go out in the back and we take pictures. Unfortunately, it's in January, and they get everybody, all the installers, everybody, and we all have our FAS shirts on. So in January, we can't put coats on. So
you're freezing your tail off.
They
is
pick
what
the worst
you're
day
gonna
of the
say
year to
something
do
else.
it, right? It's freezing. We're out there going, come on, take them quick.
All right, let me ask you the question, though. Would you rather freeze
That's
or
what
would you have it out when it's 100 degrees
That's
out?
what I'm saying. Take January.
I don't know.
so
It's really
hot.
cold. Sometimes
I hear you, but there are days. I mean, now I'll be walking then through the parking lot, and I'm just like focusing on like one foot in front of the other because I feel like I'm about to melt into the asphalt. Yeah, take January.
I get it. But the point is it's the same picture that we all took last year. Nobody moved. I'm like, why can't we just use the same picture?
It's tradition. Let them do it. It's cute.
Right, definitely. So, how many employees is there total then?
35 to 40. Yeah, it's a pretty big outfit when you put everybody together and you get the installers and the warehouse people and the service people, and it's a big family.
So for the installer, FAS doesn't contract any of that out. They're all FAS employees.
They're not employees, but the guys that work for FAS
They're
work
still
for
family
FAS.
though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, with the media agency, we have partners that we work with that, like you said, they're not employees of Mindful Media Group, but they're still part of our family.
Right.
They're the ones who perform certain tasks for us that are outside of our scope.
But like if you just had contractors, you wouldn't have a huge cookout just for the contractors, the guys that work for us and their families, just to have everybody have a great get together. We just did that a couple weeks ago where it was just a really big, fun ordeal that FAS put together for just the installers and their families.
Oh, I love that
I know.
so much.
I like them more and more, even like the more he tells us about it.
Yeah.
So you have so tell me about the different positions. So you talked about the installers, you have the salespeople. I mean, how does the rest of it work?
Well, you have your appointment center where you have two gals that work in the office that's all they do is take in the calls and direct people and set up appointments. They're also confirming for the appointments that are for the very next day.
Do you guys have a main office that goes into, or are they just remote, or how does that work?
They run out of our showroom in off of Fairbanks. So we do have a showroom, and by having other people there, if the salesperson runs out to grab a burger or something for lunch, we don't want somebody to show up and go, oh, I can't get in there. So we want to have people there all the time. So it makes sense to have those gals there.
I want to hear about the showroom. So
It's amazing. It's like 3,800 square feet filled to the rim with windows and doors. And a lot of companies, they will sell one window brand and one door brand, where FAS, we sell them all. So we sell the Simonton, the PGTs, a lot of different brands that are right there that people can come down and see.
Do you have people come in and say, I want this specific one, or do they, like, the salesperson has to go and talk them through the benefits of each brand and costs? And
That's exactly how it works. The salesperson will go, but my favorites are the ones that still come in even after all these years, where they'll say, I want the windows that Jim Phillips had. And I'm like, do you want to see them? Nope, just write it up.
That's so funny. Jim Phillips is
Okay, thank you for filling me in. I'm like, is that a neighbor? Is this a famous person? I'm so lost.
No, Jim Phillips.
Afternoons for years on Real Radio. Jim Phillips
Yes,
show.
Real Radio is a sister
Phillips File.
station to. Phillips File is a real.
You want to try again?
Yes.
And 3, 2, 1.
Yes. The Phillips File was an afternoon show that was on Real Radio, which is a sister station to WFLA.
Got
it's
it.
the one that's right across the hall
Got
here.
it.
I know.
How did they know what windows Jim
They
Phillips?
didn't care.
Because he talked about it on
Yeah,
the
they
air.
are
okay.
constantly, yes.
All right.
So one of the things about this format right here is when you have somebody that has a good voice and people follow them, when they endorse brands like FAS,
right.
their listeners are like, okay, if he's going to endorse it, that means it's a good quality product, and they don't ask any questions, because somebody like Jim Phillips is not going to endorse something that is not good.
Right.
And I know, because I used to sell the station, and trying to get an endorsement for him to sell something that you want him to sell was not easy.
That is so cool, though. That means that you can trust like what he's saying. If he's not just taking
Well,
whatever.
That's the game. You
Yeah.
see, if you don't believe in the product
Right.
yourself, you're not going to sell it.
Right.
First of all, it won't come across like you believe in
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
But
Now,
you
there-
really have to be gung-ho for it. You know?
There are some on-air jocks that will just whore themselves out. And they'll be
Right.
like, well, whoever's going to pay me the
Right.
endorsement fee. But you can tell. You can tell whether or not they have integrity or not.
Right.
And yeah, Jim Phillips was probably, I would say he's one of the best in the business, without a doubt.
Awesome.
So, look at his smile. And he's like, I know, Jim Phillips, whatever Jim Phillips wants. So we're going to continue this conversation with FAS Windows and Doors when we get back from breaks. So stay tuned.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Welcome back, and this portion of BaaD Radio is brought to you by Ground Up Property Services. With the changing of seasons, now is a good time to get your irrigation system serviced. So call Ground Up Property Services today. Also, with hurricane season, it's a very good idea to ask Rick Hall about the sensor programs, because you don't want to get too much water, and that's what's going to happen. And don't forget about the lawn painting service. It's one of my favorite things to plug. If you're planning an outdoor event and you want to hide those brown spots on the lawn, call 407-468-4295. You can also reach Ground Up Property Services at groundupinc.net. That's a .net, not a .com. So,
yes, thank you for saying that. I always just automatically put .com.
I saw a .biz today too.
Interesting.
I was like, I have to remember that one. So, okay, so we're here with Dave Meyer with FAS Windows and Doors, and we talked about a little bit of the history, which I found absolutely fascinating. Had no clue that it had that kind of history. And then we talked a little bit about the positions that were there, and so we can continue that conversation. But I definitely want to talk at some point about the scheduling and like the different types of windows and all that jazz. So let's go back to the showroom. So so what happens in the showroom, is it very similar to what happens when a salesperson comes to somebody's house, except for you have everything on display right in front of you?
Right. You know, in my car, I drive a small car, so I've got one window sample in there, sometimes two, and there are no doors in there, no sliding glass doors.
Well, what
So-
the heck, man?
The thing is sliding glass doors can be a large ticket item, and a good one is completely different than a bad one. And I recommend it for everybody. You have to lay your hands on it before you're going to purchase it. You want to see how it rolls back and forth. You want to see how the hardware is, because it's such a big purchase. I can't imagine buying, where somebody just had a little corner sample and you're making a decision to buy something like that. You just want to be able to go in and buy it somewhere where you can go in and play with it.
So when you are at someone's house, though, you can see like their setup and like what you're working with. So that's kind of an advantage. But I could see being in the showroom being so much more of an advantage, because you can see like the product. So what's the best thing? Like maybe if they brought pictures of their space, does that help you or not?
Some people will bring in pictures of their front door so we can see how it's arranged, and we can see what kind of trim is around there and what we think might work really good. But let's say you're doing a front entry door. We'll have a computer program where people will bring it up, and you can design your door. You're going to pick your colors. You're going to pick your hardware. You're going to pick how much glass you want on there.
That sounds fun.
It is fun.
Yeah. Is it like those hair apps where you can send a picture? you know what I'm talking
Right?
about. And you could change your hair and see what it's going to look like. So
It's
can
just
you
like
take...
that.
Awesome. Oh, that's fun. I'm
You
down
have
now.
to we're women. Come on.
Sorry.
And it's
He knows what I'm
amazing
talking about.
seeing the dynamic of a husband and wife or a couple that's there. And seeing who makes the decision each time, it's kind of a fun game for us salespeople too. So
Do you try to guess who's the decision maker? Who wears the pants?
It's really easy.
Is
It's
it
the
always the
woman.
women? Is it? I think guys just don't usually care. They're just like, whatever.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. So how do you deal with that? How do you deal with, like, if you've got one person who's like, all right, this is not sexy. Okay, this is like windows and doors, but I want to go to Europe this summer. So,
Right.
and then you've got the practical person who's like, but we need new windows, and this is the storm season is here. You've got two people on the spectrum there. How do you
Right.
handle that?
Well, as a salesperson, I want to be their greatest advocate of helping get that other partner on board to be able to get new windows. So first, I'll bring up, resale value, and I won't bring it up like, "Hey, I'm telling you this." I'll just say, "This is what most of my customers tell me why they're buying their windows," and it's all about the resale value. 68.8% of the money that you spend on windows and doors will literally stay in your house forever. It's been that way for decades, and it'll stay that way.
Okay.
That's like 7 out of every $10.
Okay, so what you're telling me is if I go to I get new windows and doors from FAS Windows and Doors, and then I put my house on the market and it gets assessed, and there's a house just like mine 2 doors down, right? And they don't have windows
Right.
and doors. Is my house really going to appraise for that much different than
Absolutely.
that house?
People know how much how much windows cost. And not only that, you'll be saving the money on the electric bill, and that work's already done. So by having a window that has a transferable warranty and a name brand window, it really does add that much value to your
Right.
house.
So-
7 out of every $10.
So I don't know that much about windows and doors. And if I were buying a house and someone said, "Oh, there's new windows," then I'd be like, I know that they're expensive, but I think I'd be like, all right. But I think that's because I don't know, like, what types of things do you have that are on your windows and doors that like add value? How you're talking
Right.
about?
Well, most people that live in Florida have builder's grade windows. It's a single pane. It's aluminum. The screens are not in good shape. They got little plastic corners that are dissolving. They have air infiltration issues. They just don't look like they get used even because they're kind of dilapidated. They got stuff between the screen and the windows. You know they're not opening them.
Right.
When you get a new vinyl window, the vinyl window has a larger frame. It's more architectural. It's more sexy from the road. I mean, it just looks like a
They've
nice
got
window.
curb appeal.
Right. You have that low-E glass in there that has that energy efficient tint to it. It's not clear. It just looks like, wow, this is much more rich. Windows look really, really nice. But the nice thing is on the inside, what you hear and the air infiltration and how much energy efficient they are, they're really nice on the inside. People don't want to feel like they're a part of nature. Once you feel like that outside seal is gone and you're feeling the hotter days even hotter and the cold days even more, it becomes more of a priority.
Well,
But getting back to your point about the Mr. or two couples wanting to, one wants them and one doesn't, not only the resale value, but the energy efficiency, I found this to be pretty accurate. It's $10 per month per window that gets the direct beam of light that comes through the glass.
Okay.
So not every window, even though you get daylight coming through there, doesn't have that beam of light that comes through and the kitty will lay on that little beam of light because it's warm. That
No,
window is
mine's
what's
totally
costing
do
you
that.
$10 per month. So an average customer, if they go around the house and they watch the sun come up and they're counting their windows, they've got 2 on this side of the house and a couple on that side of the house. That's 4 windows. That's $40 a month. $40 a month over a year. I mean, that ends up being like almost $500 of after-tax money that they're not having to put towards their energy bill. So something magical happens between years 5 and 6. The closer that you get to 5 years, when you take your resale value and the amount that you've already saved on your electric bill, you're going to say to yourself, I don't think I'm going to pay much for these windows. And then once you get over that 6-year hump, you're like, man, the amount I've already saved plus my resale value, I don't think I'm going to pay anything for these things. You actually could make a profit. And then there's some things that some people don't think about is the largest, most expensive appliance you'll ever have to repair or replace on your home, AC unit, right? They're expensive. You got an indoor unit, you got an outdoor unit. It's just an electric pump that's going to work a certain amount of hours and either need to be repaired or replaced. All you can do is just help it less work hours. So if next July it works half as much as this current July, theoretically it could last twice as long. So usually when people start putting all these things together and I'm like, you know, how much are these windows really going to cost you? They're like, man, I think I can get on board with this too. And then suddenly I have 2 people that are more interested in having the windows done
That makes
instead of 1.
so much sense. I was thinking more of on the lines of like, oh, it's going to look prettier.
anytime you start talking about money and how much it's going to save,
Right.
and you can put that towards the trips.
There you go.
Well, I know my house is old. My house was built in 1980, and I think it has the original. I mean, I'm definitely on a prospect for
Candidate.
FAS. Yeah, candidate.
Yeah.
And so, and I know that our electric bill would be so much less. Probably, I mean, I think our electric bill was over $500 this last month,
Out.
and I keep it at 77. And
Wow.
You would be a good candidate for that. If you went around and counted your windows and saw the beam of light, just multiplied it times 10, and it would give you a good idea of how much you'd save.
Oh, it's a lot more than 4. I can tell you that. It's a lot more than 4. And each one of those windows is huge. It's crazy. Like in the 80s, everything was built so weird.
Mine are cranks.
That's even better.
I love that.
Gosh, that goes by so fast. All right, we're going to break, and when we get back, we're going to finish up with Dave with FAS windows and doors. So stay tuned.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Welcome back, and this portion of the show is brought to you by Frogger's Bar and Grill. So are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Then look no further than Frogger's Bar and Grill. Catch all the actions on tons of high-definition TVs while enjoying drink specials available all week long. And don't miss out on Frogger's amazing menu where everything is fresh, never frozen. Oviedo, Mount Dora, Apopka, and Altamont Springs. Frogger's, hopping with food and fun. I'm always waiting for you to do the oh yeah after that one, but then I remember that that's not.
Yeah, boy.
Is that the one you normally do for that? Well, thank you. All right, so we're talking with Dave Myers with FAS Windows and Doors, and this whole hour has like flown by. So we talked about a couple of different things that we wanted to mention. What have we not hit so far? I can't remember.
There's kind of a lot of buzz right now where the state of Florida is offering an opportunity to be able to upgrade your windows to impact windows. It's called My Florida Safe Home. A lot of people should be interested in that and be logging in and seeing and applying and seeing if they can make that happen for their house. It's a very exciting program. You can get up to $10,000 in a basically a gift to help upgrade your windows to impact windows.
What do you have to do to qualify for that?
I have not done the paperwork myself, but it's very new. Like it was only a couple of weeks ago where we first started getting the people who were finally approved to be in the program, and now it seems like maybe half of my leads coming in. That's what we're going out is we're giving them a quote for impact windows rather than the regular windows that are just energy efficient here in Central Florida.
What exactly is an impact window? I mean, to me, it sounds like something to do with like hitting it, like a hurricane wind.
Exactly.
Well, a standard glass window is just 1/8-inch glass. It's 1/8-inch glass on the inside and it's 1/8-inch glass on the outside. There's argon gas in there in low E, and that's what most people will have. That's what we have sold a lot of in the past. But what an impact window is when they take a piece of glass, a piece of polybutyl rubber, and another piece of glass, and they bake it until it becomes one piece, and that polybutyl rubber can't be punctured. So what happens is they'll put that on the inside and an 1/8-inch glass on the outside, and if a 2x4 gets fired out of a cannon at 70 miles an hour, it'll go right through the outside glass, but it can't puncture the inside one. So it can crack it, but you won't have water, you won't have air or any of that stuff coming through. Think of it as a car windshield. If you're driving 70 on a freeway and a rock pops up and hits your windshield, you're worried that it's going to crack it. You're not worried that it's going to come inside and land on your seat.
Right.
Well, it's just like that. It's the same technology, but it's twice as thick as a car windshield. And that's what people are getting on their houses.
And so the grant or whatever it is, so that's just being there so for people's safety, for like because of the hurricanes and the weather?
Correct. It's for that, and I do believe it has something to do with the them helping with insurances.
That's what I was going to say.
A lot of people are getting hit where they're getting dropped by their insurances. They're having a hard time finding new companies. They're finding out that they just got doubled, and they weren't even told. They just, here's your new bill, and it's another $2,500 more than it was last year.
Yeah.
So I think that it has to do with the mitigation, and it's the same type of mitigation that you would get out on the coast, but they're offering it for everywhere. So you don't have to be out on the coast to have impact windows. You can have impact windows in Central Florida.
That's definitely something I'm very, very interested in. And that was one of the things that, like, when I was really seeking to have FAS Windows and Door on the show is because I'm a big advocate for homeowners' rights. And there's been so many law changes that have really negatively impacted homeowners in Florida from what their rights are, as far as insurance companies and just being able to be denied and they, they'll no longer cover attorney's costs and things like that. So that's actually really, really good to know. Now, do you mention that to people when you're talking to them, or do you just kind of like?
For the most part, the people who want to have a quote for that will tell me up front, I've got approved and this is what I'm looking for. Some people aren't looking for that. They just want to get new windows. They've had old ones for a long time. They just want energy efficient windows. And, for me, I would like to have impact windows on my house, especially if the state would come along and pick up the bill for the other half of that. But there's a lot of people that just having good new energy efficient windows at work is important.
Do they look different? Is that why some people are like,
Sometimes the functionality is a little bit different, the nighttime safety latches, but for the most part, they'll be very similar. They may be harder to lift up and down because
they're heavier.
There's a lot more glass in there. But,
so you mean you can't have Melissa's crank?
No, I don't think they have that.
Do they still have crank windows?
They do, but they crank out.
Okay.
They don't go and 2 or 3 of them all at the same time like hers. But I get it.
My parents had those windows. Did yours?
Yes. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I lived in houses. Yeah. When we were on base, we lived in Puerto Rico. They had windows that did that.
Well, I think one of the weirdest things I ever saw is like one of the times I went over to the UK, they didn't have screens in their windows, and I was like, "What is this craziness? Why no screens?" But I guess they don't have mosquitoes and bugs like we do, right?
I guess
Wow.
not.
A lot of people tell me when I get there, when I ask them, hey, is it important that you guys open these? And they're like, no, we just want picture windows. And I'm like, but you won't be able to open it. We're like, we don't open it now.
Oh.
So-
I open my house if it gets below 75 degrees outside.
Yeah.
I am like open,
Nice,
fresh
fresh
air.
air. Mhm.
I've got to. So, like I said, that's
I
super
have
important.
that pair of the cutest dogs ever that if it gets to a certain temperature, if I don't open up my French doors in the back and let them have free will to come and go, they're upset.
Oh, yeah.
If they're out, they want to be in. If they're in, they
Oh,
want to
yeah.
be out.
I
So-
Leave it open.
have a dog and 2 cats that are exactly the same way, and then they'll sit there and scream at me while I'm trying to get work done, whether or not they want to go in or out.
I have a question. This reminded me because my dogs are always wanting to go in and out, in and out, in and out. Do you have any sliding doors, glass doors that have like doggy doors in them? Is that
That's
a
a
thing?
good question.
No, but there is a new door that we have that is an exterior door that is Florida product approved that has a pet safe door that can lock. So you can have a door that goes out to the outside and it can already come with a pre-installed pet door in there.
That's a beautiful thing.
I need one so bad.
Yeah, but you guys do more than sliding glass doors, though,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Okay.
If you name it, we can do it. I mean, we have it all. And that's what's nice about the showroom too, is being able to come down and see what the difference is between a French door and a sliding glass door.
Mhm. I know we need everything. I mean, our sliding glass doors okay, but our French doors, like that lead out to the pool, are ancient. They are ancient, but they're one of those ones that have like window panes, like all the way down. And I'm just like, I'm not giving anybody idea. Actually, I'm not going to say it because
Never mind.
I know if
Bleep
I
it.
were a criminal, I would be
Here's
like,
my card.
give it. Yes, because I know how I would deal with it. But I mean, we have a security system, so
She has security and cameras all over
yes,
everyone. No
Yes, we
ideas.
do. So we're about 2 minutes to the end of the show. What are just some of the other things that you would just like to tell us about FAS Windows and Doors? I mean, family owned, sounds like an amazing company to hire as well to work for.
I would have to say that people who think that maybe there's not that big of a difference of saying going to like a Home Depot or Lowe's and seeing what contractor grade stuff is compared to coming into a showroom and seeing a real window and door showroom, seeing what a multi-point lock would do, seeing how some of the sliding glass doors look like beautiful French doors, but on wheels. So I have some people that are just set on French doors. And when they find out that their sliding glass door doesn't have to take up any room and it could just slide back and forth like this, but still have that French door look. Yeah.
Can they both open that way too?
No, they would
They
just
just look
slide.
like it. Oh,
But
yeah.
people
Got it.
don't realize if you put French doors in there, you lose your screen. Usually only one door works, and you can't put anything outside there because you'll run into it. So being able to have a showroom and have people be able to come down and look at all this stuff, it is absolutely amazing.
Well, hold on to your card now. Now's your chance to read all that information on how what people need to call to make an appointment with FAS Windows and Doors.
Call 407-770-0184 and make an appointment today.
Should they ask for you specifically?
You can, Dave Meyer.
We're going to help Dave with some of his commission. So, but thank you so much for being on the show today. And I know we'll have you back.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Definitely. And you can find me at strikingbrand.com or email Melissa at strikingbrand.com.
And we are going to be back for another hour. But I'm Angela, and you can reach me at angela@baadradio.com. That's BAAD radio.com. So stay tuned for some more Bad Radio.
You're listening to Radio Cosmos.
All night long.
Bravo! My compliments, little lady.
Commercial!
Break for 30 seconds. Transmission.
You are now listening to Bad Radio.
Welcome back to Bad Radio as we launch into our second hour. I'm going to run through all the regular info for those who have just joined us. I'm Angela Smarito, your host, and we've got our producer, Melissa Fox.
Oppan Gangnam Style.
Oh, I love it.
our co-host and videographer, Melissa Jacob.
Hello.
And her business is Striking Brand. And you can watch all of last year, well, I always want to say last year's previous episodes of BaaD Radio on baadradio.com. And you can guess that you can find on Striking Brand all of her other stuff because she's a videographer as well as a photographer. So I am so excited to have Terri Mandigo with Live Your Best Life in studio with us today. Thank you for being here, Terri.
Thank you for the invite.
And she's been here before, but just not this studio.
Not this studio.
No, this is a brand new studio, and I'm really liking the vibe in here, guys.
So, Live Your Best Life is an advocate for Green Compass Global. Now, Green Compass, and they have been a sponsor of the networking news since we've launched it. So, do you want to just touch base real quick on like what an advocate of that means so that everybody understands?
So Green Compass is a direct sales organization.
Right.
So by becoming an independent advocate, that means I have the ability to go out and sell Green Compass products. So I can incorporate my own business per se, which is Live Your Best Life business. That is my business. But as an advocate, I am advocating for and only selling Green Compass products.
Right. So we were talked about this a little bit before. And so an advocate is, just an all purposes, a sales rep.
Correct. Correct. An advocate is just a fancy name for a salesperson.
I think it's a great name for a salesperson. But, they come up with like account executive, an executive account manager. There's all sorts of one. But I like advocate.
I do too. I think it sounds classy.
It kind of reminds me of like Mary Kay, like how people go around and selling Mary Kay. But
does Mary Kay, they say advocate?
No.
Okay.
I was just meaning like they're selling it for this other company. But your case is a lot different. Like that, you have the background of being a nurse and things like that's the part that I'm like, this.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So that's why I really like the term advocate because yes, I am a medical professional. I am a nurse, a registered nurse. And we do advocate for the patients. We're there. We're the eyes and ears of the patients. We let the doctor know what's going on, either verbally or charting. So, Green Compass is a CBD or a hemp company because we just don't do CBD anymore. We do a wide variety of the sources in the hemp. So it's all medical. So therefore, you are an advocate. So I'm just living, what I'm.
Her best life.
There we go.
I know. Well, what I think is so cool is that each one of the advocates has the ability to implement their own personality into their business.
Yes. We get instructions, and I shouldn't say instructions. I guess we get some education. But for the most part, we're able to run our own business the way we want to, utilizing our own individual personalities, whatever our backgrounds are. We have people from all walks of life that are advocates. School teachers, they'll bring a whole different philosophical term to it versus me as a registered nurse. We have pharmaceuticals. We have CEOs of big I won't say the name, but of large international business companies per se. We have got sports people. We have a retired NFL person also.
Advocating.
Nice.
Yes, all advocating for the use of Green Compass products and basically the use of CBD and hemp products.
Well, tell us a little bit about Green Compass, because the reason I trust Green Compass is because you sell it, but I'm sure there's other reasons why I should trust it.
Besides that, we just love Terri.
Yeah, exactly. I use the product.
Yes,
Right.
I was just going to say, and Angela has definitely used the products and seen what it can do. So Green Compass started years ago from our founders, Meredith Cook. When she delivered her firstborn son, she went into and had some issues after, what we would label now as postpartum depression. And her brother, this is way before CBD became legalized, so way before 2018. Her brother brought her in some CBD, and she tried it, and it helped her dramatically. So fast forward to, she has 2 sons now that are youngin', but they're having some issues, and she wanted to provide them some CBD because she knew it helped her. So she is very much a proponent and an advocate of holistic medicine, of organic. So she was researching, the ingredients in a lot of the CBD out there, And at that time, she just found that they were all like, couldn't be trusted. The majority of the hemp coming in was from China, which then didn't have any standards of how to process it.
You're right.
So it just so happens her husband was best friends with some farmers, which were 6th-generation sweet potato farmers. And they had been doing an experiment or working with the state of North Carolina on the North Carolina Hemp Project. So she went to her husband and basically, if you know the story, and I'm not married, so I can't tell it really good, but basically demanded from Sterling, you get with the, the brothers and you get me my CBD.
Oh, okay. Decision maker.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, very much a decision maker. So fast forward, that's what happened. They did go ahead and they made, the oils. At that time, it was the tinctures, the oils. And so Meredith and Sterling were just passing it out to family members to help them with any ailments. And they kept having people coming to them saying, I want some more. Where can I get this? And of course, it really wasn't a company. It was just like a home, let me make it for, my mom, let me make it for my sons. So they decided to incorporate the Green Compass, and they decided to initially start going out and marketing pharmacies, physicians, chiropractors.
Like holistic type of things.
Holistic type things.
Apothecaries, things like that, right?
Yes, exactly. Just small term, just to try to get it out. And then, and I don't know who the individual was, but somebody big in the network, direct sales marketing, saw the potential and then, spoke with the cooks about it. And that's how they incorporated into a direct sales market with the value that all products must be organic. So all the hemp is grown at their farms. They own the farms in North Carolina. There is no pesticides or any chemicals. They actually, we've seen them. We've gone up there, seen them actually going out to the fields and hand-picking bugs off the leaves.
Nice.
They take care, the soil is maintained so that, there is nothing untoward that can get into your body when you're ingesting the products. And we were one of the first CBD companies to be certified organic because of being the sweet potato farmers. The land and the soil was already certified organic.
Nice.
So, yep.
Wow. Like I said, there's so much that goes into it. And I know we have about a minute before we're coming up to break, but I really do want to talk about hemp versus marijuana versus CBD, you know what I mean? Because I think that there's so much confusion and misunderstanding and misinformation. I can't believe I just used that term. But in regards to hemp products and the benefits and stereotypes.
I am there with you. I would think at this day and age, everybody would know the difference. But no, Angela, you are absolutely 100% correct. I still get looked at like, you sell weed and you're a nurse? Like, no.
Druggy.
No,
right. No, it's a generational thing. It's boomers versus Gen X versus the millennials. Like the younger generation is so much more open-minded to saying, okay, I know what this is, but like my mom and dad, they're like, that's just, that's the gateway into, real drugs, marijuana, the real drug.
Yeah, really. And that's old school thought process. Marijuana will then become cocaine, which then will become crack, which then will become heroin. And nowadays, it will lead you straight to fentanyl. So, that's just old school thought belief.
It is. But unfortunately, it's ingrained in a lot, especially, like I said, especially the boomers and even a good portion of the Gen Xers in our brains, because that's what we got. We're like just taught the whole time, but just drilled in growing up. So, but we have so much to talk with Terri about, so don't go away. And when you get back, we're going to talk more about hemp products and Green Compass, so stay tuned.
That's right. You're listening to BaaD Radio. Check out BaaD radio.com. And as Angela said, we'll be right back. You're listening to News Radio, WFLA Orlando.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Welcome back to the show, and this portion of Bad Radio is brought to you by Forge IT Consulting, providing a fully outsourced IT department with a personal touch for small business. No company is too small. ForgeITConsulting.com. And we were just talking about John on break about how, like, after his show aired, I got a message from a listener that was like, "Hey, that was great information, but I needed again. So how do I find the show?"
Oh, nice.
And so because he was taking notes on it, and I'm like I said, that's something that makes me happy is the show grows and people are listening, and then they're interacting with me.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you heard me say that Mike Heyman got a call for a wind mitigation on Monday morning after his show aired, and
That's great.
They said, "I heard it on the radio."
Oh, that's awesome.
So, all right. So we're here with Terri Mandigo with Live Your Best Life, which is an advocate for Green Compass Global. And we've talked about Green Compass a lot because she's a show sponsor and she's been on the show before. And so I talked about, some of this stuff I want to talk about, like I said, we could sit on the show and talk about everything that's like, peachy keen. But sometimes I just really want to talk about like the stuff that I hear and the stuff that I think that we need to overcome in regards to stereotypes. And we did touch base on the weed thing a little bit. So why do people think that CBD is marijuana?
Because it's very similar in the way it looks. And remember, prior to December of 2018, CBD was lumped in with marijuana as an illegal drug.
But why is that?
So because people don't know the difference. So here's the education lesson.
That's right. Educate us, girl.
So
Bring
we
us.
have the cannabis. So the cannabis is a global.
Is cannabis the same thing as hemp?
Yes and no.
Okay,
yes,
jumping
and no.
ahead.
Hold on. So
Hold on.
Say cannabis is say the top, and then underneath you have different types of plants. Two of them being say marijuana. One plant is a plant, and then the hemp plant.
Okay.
So the difference between the two of those is the marijuana plant. When you break it down into get products, you're going to get a higher volume of THC.
And that's what gets you high.
Exactly. Versus CBD. And it's opposite on the hemp plant, which is a higher in the CBD and other cannabinoids versus the THC. Sorry, the THC.
But the marijuana plant is not. It's part of the top one,
Yes.
the cannabis, but it's not part of the
Not
hemp.
part of the hemp. They're two distinct
I did not know
separate
that.
plants. So I call them their cousins. You have your family, like in my family, I have the Saltalamacchia family, but yet, I'm sorry, but yet I may have this branch, the Scaglionis, the Serafinos. And
Oh, my
so
goodness. Italian.
I know. It's like,
yes.
wow,
Yeah.
Italian.
I feel like I'm watching Godfather or something. That was fun.
we can have lots of stories.
That's fun.
But so you would say, we're all cousins, but yet we're all of the same family.
And so, because I remember hearing once a long time ago that this is rope made out of hemp, and my mind immediately said, "That's made out of marijuana." So can you smoke it? Like a rope?
No. So it's not made out of marijuana. It's made out of hemp. So prior, and I don't remember the date exactly, so forgive me, but in the 1800s, hemp was prevalent. I mean, farmers were mandated they needed to grow hemp because you could use hemp for paper, hemp for rope, hemp for clothes, hemp for sails. So back in the day, we didn't have motorized boats, so you had to sail. So all the sails and all the roping were from the hemp. They would manufacture it.
And it was really strong, right?
Yeah.
And for the weight, like it was light and very strong,
Yes,
right?
it was very light. Like, I don't know if you have seen my Green Compass shirts that I made.
Yeah.
They're very, very super light. I mean,
Are those made with hemp?
Yes.
Oh, that's really cool. Okay, so that's why. So because they're from a family, but they just branch off.
Correct.
So one is one and one is the other.
And again, there's what did you say earlier? Misinformation?
Yeah, I was just like,
Misinformation about the whole product itself, because hemp does get lumped in with marijuana, and it shouldn't. It's two distinct products.
but that was because of the way, like the CDC or whatever it is,
Way
decided-
back, yes,
yeah,
decided that it was toxic, so to speak, and it was not good for your body, so they lumped it all together with those illegal drugs.
right. And when did it start to when did people start to realize that, hey, this is not the same as this?
So it really took shape in December of 2018 when the 2018 Farm Bill was passed. That brought CBD back out into the global market, into the eyes of the individuals in throughout the world.
So that's not that long ago at
No,
all. What's that, 5
not
years?
at old. It'll be 5 years. Yes. So
Wow.
and
I didn't realize it was that. I thought it was longer than that. but
no. There's always been some misinformation, miscommunication about the two, and everybody. And even me. I mean, when I was first approached by my cousin, whose husband's neurologist in Boston told him, go get some CBD, and they called me. I'm like, why does your doctor want CBD? Why does he want you to get high? There's so much misinformation out there because, think about it, it was illegal. So we couldn't do research in the United States. We couldn't get education out to people, especially the medical community, because it was illegal.
We stayed at a bed and breakfast in Atlanta over the summer for Aiden's baseball tournament, and they had a list of rules on the kitchen counter, and it was like absolutely no marijuana or CBD use on and I was just like, all right, well, I got my gummies, and you ain't taking them, so
Or older
and that would probably be mainly the smoking because they don't want the smoke to go into the furniture and stuff.
Totally understand. But I mean, it was left up there with
I
like
know.
excessive partying and things. All right, so that's the main difference is that they're cousins. They're not the same thing.
Correct. They are definitely not the same things. In the same family, but two distinct siblings, so to speak.
Right.
So but what you're saying too is CBD does not get you high.
Correct.
What does it do?
So CBD actually puts your body back into, and I'm going to use a big term here, homeostasis.
I like that word. It makes me think of plants, though.
Yeah.
Homeostasis.
I don't know.
I have to think about that.
Photosynthesis, maybe?
That could be.
Closer.
There you go. Yeah, but it puts your body back into the way it should be.
Right.
So think about, and it works. Let me just go back for a minute. It works on your endocannabinoid system, which in your body, it's just like your cardio system, your cardiovascular system, your circulatory system. We discovered back in the 1990s, we had this other system called the endocannabinoid system.
Is it just like a thing of nerves throughout your whole body, or is it?
I wouldn't.
Is it
say,
all in your brain, or is it all?
No,
over?
it's all over.
Okay.
So it's not nerves. We call them, the proper term is receptors. You have
Okay.
receptors all over. So think of your body, your endocannabinoid system, as a Christmas tree with a whole bunch of lights on it.
Love
Okay?
it.
So all the lights are on. The tree looks great. You know, you're happy because you're getting the endorphins because your tree looks marvelous and it's so pretty. What happens when a light goes out? That light annoys the heck out of you. Doesn't really, do much to you, but it just annoys you. Then 2 lights go out, then 3, then 10, then 20. The more lights go out, the more the tree doesn't look
You got
happy.
a peanuts looking tree.
There you go. Okay, so that's what happens with your body when your receptors start shutting down.
Right.
So your own endocannabinoids need some help. So that's why we supplement in with our phytocannabinoids, with your CBD and other cannabinoids into your system to turn those lights back on. So it puts you back into that happy, lovely, perfect tree.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Cute. A nice holiday
I know.
analogy.
Whenever I'm not feeling right, I'm like, man, I got a couple lights out. I need to do something with that.
Now, let me just tell you, we do say that. It's like, for the last couple of weeks, I've been in a funk, and it's like, maybe there's some lights out in my system. And I didn't even realize I was saying it. It was like, oh, my word, there's the analogy coming. So, yeah, I just took an extra jelly for a couple of days in a row, and I started feeling better.
Right. So we're going, but I want to talk about like as far as like how much you take and when to take it, and is it? I have all sorts of questions about that. So, but we're gonna listen to Rubber Band Man. You hearing this, Tommy? This is his favorite song. All right, we're gonna be back with more BaaD Radio after this.
Every Sunday from 11 until 1, right here on WFLA Orlando. Follow us on the iHeart Radio app, and you can hear it worldwide.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Welcome back, and this portion of the show is brought to you by Liberty Property Inspections. Your home is one of your most important investments, so don't trust it to just anyone. LibertyPropertyInspections.net, helping you protect your investment. And so we are back with Terri Mandigo with Live Your Best Life, which is an advocate for Green Compass Global. And before break, we were talking about, I said I wanted to talk about dosages and how it works. And but first, let's just kind of go through the products that are the primary key products for Green Compass.
So Green Compass has products for everybody. And by everybody, I mean if you're a mammal, you can use...
This is fur babies.
Yes,
Cows?
you can use
Horses?
CBD. Any mammal. So yes, we've had people use CBD with horses. Somebody asked about chickens. I don't know about that. But any mammal can take CBD. So we have, we have the range from adults to children to your pets, to your furries, what we call them. And the majority of our, main sellers are our tinctures.
I just have such a hard time saying that word,
tincture,
which is
just say
the oils.
Yes, just say oil. Oils, our jellies, and our topical pain cream, which is amazing. So those are our main products, and the oils and the jellies both come in what we call full spectrum, which has the tiny amount of THC, 0.3 milligrams, which is legally allowed. And it still doesn't get you high, you all. Even though it has THC, it won't get you high. So you can tell your mom that.
Yeah, I will.
And the broad spectrum, which is everything else, the goodness in the flower, the hemp flower, without the THC. So they extract that during the extraction process.
So the teacher's is an oil that I think you put underneath your tongue,
Under
right?
your tongue, or in cases of babies, because babies can take it, or if you have somebody on the spectrum maybe that can't really do the consistent, you can put it in the belly button. Because with with the oils, you put it under the tongue and or the belly button, because that's where your major, I would say, blood vessels are, so it can absorb it quickly. So think about your belly button. That's, where your life source was when you were a baby. It still has the attachments inside.
I never heard that before. That's funny. I like I have like estrogen cream that I put here, and it's like on your inside of your arms or like on the inside of your legs. They say to do it, and it works really good because it's changed everything. But I never thought about a belly button before.
Yeah, so the oils.
I was on the tongue.
Yeah, we recommend if they cannot take the oils under the tongue, you can put them in the belly button.
I can't remember too. Does it come in different flavors?
Yes, they do come. The oils do come. Oh, well, and the jellies do come in different flavors.
Oh, they
yes,
do?
Yes.
I just know the one with the cane sugar. It's like getting a piece of candy.
So the jellies come in limoncello, elderberry, and then our newest one is the raspberry one. Ooh. That's one of our new full spectrums.
Yeah.
And then the oils come in just the regular, natural.
And I'm not a big fan.
No. The spearmint, the cinnamon.
The cinnamon's good.
The vanilla orange. And then we will have seasonal ones. Like right now, I stocked up last year when we had our pumpkin spice out. So I'm taking my pumpkin spice oil.
Nice. Nice. Okay, and so that's the teachers. Now, so the nano jellies.
The nano jellies, that's what I'm saying. They come in the limoncello. I did those first. Yeah, the limoncello, the elderberry, and the raspberry one.
Do the nano jellies do the same as the teachers? They're just the way you disperse them is different?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So the nano jellies, again, if you have somebody that doesn't want to wait the 60 seconds under the tongue and then wait for 10 minutes to eat or drink afterwards, the nano jellies are great on the go because you can just chew them, absorb them, and you eat, drink, whatever.
And how do you recommend people take them? I mean, do you take them on a regular basis? Like I wake up and I take my CBD, like how people will take their vitamins.
Yes. So I do. I started taking the CBD tinctures or the oils for my migraines, and I take that religiously. In the morning and at night.
And they cured your headaches.
They didn't cure my headaches.
I know, but they helped you a lot, right?
Yes. Since I've been taking it, I have not had a migraine. So yes.
And you had like the ones that took you down, right?
Yes, I was having 2 to 3 migraines a week and having to have the Imitrex with them, which would put me in bed. So I was
bless
losing
your
a lot.
heart.
Yep.
I get one once a quarter, once 6 months, and it's the worst.
Like migraine headache.
Just one.
Yes.
Like, I don't get them a lot. Have you ever had one?
I don't think have migraines, but I'll have like regular headaches that are probably like dehydration and stuff like that.
No, I have the ones where I turn off the lights,
Mhm,
just take me to the hospital,
Yeah.
knock me out, do
Right.
something.
Yeah, there. If you've had one, you would know.
Right. Yeah. So no.
Yeah. Yes. So religiously, I take them now. Can I stop taking them for a bit? I probably could, but I don't want to.
Well, you're not.
They're
Yeah,
very
you
good.
don't have to,
No.
right? I mean, it's not hurting you to take them.
No. So that's the other thing with CBD. It's all natural, and our products are all organic, natural. So it doesn't hurt you to take it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can continue to take them on daily. We have others that, like especially with the jellies, that will take it for stress induced, because our broad spectrum jellies work really quick. I will tell you that.
Like how quick?
Like if I'm driving on I-4 and I'm in a panic, I will grab a jelly and chew it, and probably within 5 to 10 minutes, I'm relaxed,
Oh,
so I can make it.
nice.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So
Nice.
That quick.
So while the guy in front of you is still driving you crazy,
Actually, we have the jellies at the house, and I find them to be extremely helpful, especially like I said, and again, it comes so naturally. It's not like it's not the same sensation of like taking a Xanax or taking some sort of prescription drug. It's more natural feeling.
Correct.
It's more gradual.
Correct.
That's
So,
the right
so
word.
with the CBD, you should not feel.
Mm-hmm.
You should notice the absence of feeling. That's
Mhm.
what we say. So, like, I'm stressed out. I take the jelly. I'm not stressed out anymore.
Yeah.
So it's the absence of the feeling. Somebody utilizing the tinctures for pain, like for knee pain. I had an individual that was unable to walk from her door to her mail to get her mailbox to get her mail.
right?
So she started taking the tinctures, and all of a sudden she realized, oh my word, I'm able to walk to my mailbox and get my mail. I don't have to have my son go get the mail anymore.
Nice.
But again,
Again,
it happened kind of gradually
It's
too.
gradually,
Yeah.
and she did not know. I mean, it was the absence of not having that pain and being able to do it.
Speaking about like the heavier drugs, it helps people because it's not is it habit forming?
Addictive. It's not
No, it is
addictive.
not habit forming, and it's not addicting.
That's a beautiful thing
Yes.
because that's the biggest problem with a lot of those things they prescribe for stress and pain management is that they are addicting, and then you get people all hooked up on
Correct.
Or they'll have side effects or anything like that. Does CBD have any side effects?
CBD right now has no side effects.
I've had times where it made me a little drowsy, where I was just like,
I was going to say, so it will, I mean, it can make you drowsy, especially that's why we say, take it for bedtime if you're not used to it. But once your body gets used to it, that should go away.
yeah.
Yeah.
for
Okay.
sure. So, but I mean, when I've been like really stressed out and I needed it, like I didn't get drowsy. It just it got me to a point where I was feeling more the level. But if you take it, like I said, for pain management or something like that, then yeah, it has made me drowsy before, but not drugged.
Right.
So that's the big thing I want to stress is that it's not a drugged feeling at all.
No.
I know that I thought lots of times when we do the samples, because like Melissa and I, when we would go to events, we would always promote a lot of the products, and a lot of people we still got the, I can't. I'm like, I'm in recovery or like one of those things,
Right.
and I'm like, okay, I
So
understand
this
and I respect
can
that.
support their recovery. And I don't have it right in front of me, but there are studies going on right now, and a lot higher doses than we would ever take, and under obviously medical, advice, with CBD trying to detox off of opioid narcotics.
Okay, well that's wonderful.
And those are studies, so I mean, they're still ongoing. We probably won't know the results of that for several years, but so if you do have somebody that says, I can't do that, say it's an adjunct. It can help you.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's really good to know. So we're going to break, and then when we get back, I want to talk about the opportunities that there are with Green Compass. And so everybody stay tuned, and we will be back with more BaaD Radio.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
And want to give a huge thank you to our sponsor, Bolts Legal. Fear no storm with boltslegal.com. 33 tanning spa with locations in Altamont Springs and Longwood. Andrews Law PA, auto accident attorney. You can contact Andrews Law PA today at andrewslawpa.com. Crazy Muscle Nutrition with a new address of 1015 Unit 129 and State Road 436 in Castleberry. Okay, so we've already talked for, 30 minutes so far with Terri with Live Your Best Life, and it feels like she just got here. So she's with it's Live Your Best Life, which is an advocate for Green Compass Global. And earlier in the show, we talked about it basically being a sales position. And so how does that work? How does somebody get involved, and what kind of background do they need? I know it's a great opportunity to earn a living, but how does somebody get started?
So to get started, you just have to reach out to an advocate now, and you can what we call join the company. And there's several different options to join. The lowest is to just join the business kit, and you get a couple of samples that you can try or you can give to friends and family, and then you get the business documentation. And you get the back office, which the company keeps all of our sales for us. Our customer's address. We have our own database in there, so we don't have to keep a separate one. Or there are other kits that come with products that you can either keep and use yourself to try, or you can sell them.
Okay.
So that would be the easiest way.
So how much does it cost just to get started?
So the entry-level business kit, I believe, is $49, and then there's several other options all the way up to the full kit, the product kit, where you get almost like $1,200 worth of products for $500.
How long does it take before you can start earning commission?
So the commissions, you can earn commissions from day one.
That's amazing.
Yes. I mean, think about it. If you bought a kit that had product and you went and sold it to your neighbor, and I'm just making this up, so that sale, you're going to sell it for what the retail is, I'm assuming. I do.
Yeah.
So you've already made a profit right then and there.
Right. But when you sign up, you have access to the website.
Yes.
And so how does that work?
So when you sign up, part of the back office is that you get your own website. That individuals can go in, log into that website, and look at all the products there, and then they can purchase online. So you don't have to keep any stock whatsoever. So if they purchase online, there's two different ways that an advocate will get paid. If they purchase the retail, then the commission on that gets paid weekly. If they purchase what we call a preferred purchase, which means it's routinely scheduled for month after month.
Right. I got you.
Then those all go together, and you get paid monthly on that. If you like it and somebody else wants to do what you're doing, and you get another advocate to join the business and to sell, then you also earn what we call a bonus on the two bigger kits.
Right.
And those are paid on a weekly as well.
So let's just back up. So you can earn commission from day one, and I already know that commission is 20%.
Well, it starts at 20%. It can go up.
Yeah, but starts at 20%. And in sales world, that's a great commission to start at. I mean, even at my previous company, we weren't even at 20%, and that was one of the highest commissions paid in radio sales. In this building, I can guarantee you they don't pay you 20% of the commission. So immediately you can start selling and earning commission, and you don't have to hold inventory.
Correct.
So that is a win and a win. So forget about building a sales team initially. You don't even have to do that in order to start making money.
Nice.
And the products, I mean, I'll say it out loud, the products aren't cheap, but they're quality products.
The products definitely are not cheap. I mean, there's a lot of less expensive products out there, but again, remember, you get what you paid for. The industry is still the wild, wild west, y'all. We still do not have FDA regulations. So even though Green Compass, and there are a couple of other organizations out there that have their ethics and moralities in line.
Yeah.
We do everything the right way. There are some companies out there that are going to take shortcuts. So you may pay, $20, $30 less for a bottle of oil, but you really know what the heck you're getting.
Well, you can buy it from a smoke shop.
Exactly. Yes.
I know. Trust me,
Don't
I'm
get me
not
started.
I won't be buying any CBD from a smoke shop. I can tell you that. But so you can start earning commission. And so the reason I bring that up is because Green Compass is a multi-level marketing company. And we talked a little bit, Terry and I started to talk about the stigma of what that is. Do you know what that is, right? Almost
Right. So you get like a commission based on the other people that you bring in that work under you, or like
Yes.
something like
You're,
that.
you basically are growing a team.
Right.
But back in the 80s and 90s, there was some companies that that launched, and they called them pyramids. And it was under that kind of thing where it's like you're on top and then you build the people underneath you. But the problem with those is that they're very predatory and that they position themselves as something that they were not. They also required you to invest heavily to get that position, whether it was in buying a truckload of inventory or spending a big chunk of money to be part of the team. There was a lot of, like, I remember graduating from college in 1995. I just aged myself. I don't care. But I got targeted by pyramid type companies, and they would position themselves as this is a job interview. And then we would, I would show up, and it would be some sort of like a display where they're selling products, and they would actually put stage people in there that would show all this excitement and act like they were signing up. It was just all all theater.
They were really selling it.
Wow.
And it would be products from cleaning kitchen products to like vacuum cleaners. It was just this whole array of stuff. And it was very predatory because, again, they would prey on people that were just getting into the work, and a lot of it, and it gave it kind of a bad name. And to this day, some people still hold those prejudices, and they need to understand that is not the case. And lots of times they would say, these would be like, you need to sell to your mother, your father, your sister,
Correct.
your brother, and then all of a sudden these people would start just destroying their relationships with their family because it was like almost cult-like.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like
I mean, that's why
brainwashed.
I don't have any experience other than Green Compass
Yeah.
with the MLM, and you and I have talked about that. So I've been one of the fortunate ones. But from what I understand, yes, it was really, really bad.
Yeah.
And there are still a couple of companies, from what I understand, out there that do have their people make a list of your top 100 and, call them and tell them they have to buy. That's not the new, shall I say, the new MLM of today. Everything in our company gives us training, a lot of training. And everything out there is telling us not to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
They're telling you to go out there, well, Green Compass specifically, they want to get the product in as much people's hands as possible, just because we, coming from the cooks all the way down to us, we believe 100% in that product. And Meredith has gone on record, I can't tell you how many times, and said, even if there wasn't a dollar value from this, even if I wasn't making money from this, if I could have an airplane, I would just, let the product drop and let people take it.
And
That's
here's-
how much we believe.
Here's the thing, too, is that the commissions that they're paying them is what's equivalent to what regular businesses are paying on advertising. So they're, instead of paying for the big billboards and the ads, they're paying commission to the people. So that's the difference. And it can be incredibly advantageous for somebody that is at home with the kids
Correct.
or
Yes.
whatever. So, all right. So now's your chance to tell everybody your contact information. So let everybody know how to get in touch with you.
Okay, if you want to learn more about CBD and or Green Compass, you can email me directly at Terri, Terri, at liveyourbestlifern.com, or you can text me or call me at 407-616-3145.
It's funny, you forget your own phone number.
I
do
do.
all the
I have
time.
to think about it. Okay, what is it?
All the time. And you can find me at strikingbrand.com or email Melissa at strikingbrand.com.
And I'm Angela at BaaDradio.com, and on Facebook, Business at a Distance, Central Florida Networking. Huge thank you to our sponsors, and thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful week, everyone.
We'll do it again next Sunday at 11 o'clock. It'll be fun. Thanks for tuning in today to News Radio WFLA and BaaD Radio.